Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to this installment of Open Mic, the show where the mic is open, the floor is yours. What are the things that you guys want to talk about in this wonderful world of movies, movie news, TV, streaming, and all sorts of good stuff? My name, of course, is John Campea. Good to have you guys here. Now, we normally do Open Mic, which is a live stream that we do. We normally do the show around 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today, we're doing it early. The reason we're doing it early today is because there was no episode of the John Campea Show today because there's nothing to talk about. Like, these strikes are killing us. They're killing a lot of people.
We're in the middle of the desert.
Out here, there's like very, very little to talk about. No, we've had a lot of days where there has been a good amount of stuff to talk about, but today there wasn't. We thought, you know what? Instead of putting together a real crappy episode of the John Campea Show where we're just grasping at straws of really irrelevant things that nobody cares to talk about, let's just skip it and we'll go right to Open Mic today.
Big F it, do it live energy.
Yeah, screw it, we'll do it live.
Yeah.
That's what we decided to do, and that's what we're doing. You know what? And then we decided, instead of waiting till like 3:30 to do it, why don't we just do it a little bit earlier here in the day? So that is what we're doing today. I'm joined in the studio by Ray Ora.
Hey.
Jonathan Boyko's here. And Chris Carr is here.
Hi, guys.
And most importantly, you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here and making this a part of your day. And here's how it's going to go, guys. We got one thing that we do want to talk about off the top, and then we're going to take your comments and questions. Now, there are normally two ways to get a topic or a question that you have for the show for us to address here. The first way is if you're watching one of the 23 hours of the day that we're not streaming live, you can go ahead and use our tip link anytime, 24/7. Just go to www.streamelements.com/JohnCampea/tip. And then we will get to your question. Or if you are watching live, you can go ahead and use the super chat feature that's in the live chat there. And if your comment, topic, or question is appropriate to be used on our shows, no questions about my feet, please, then we will go ahead and address those questions. And yes, I did get somebody writing to me asking me how much for pictures of my feet.
Yours?
Yep.
Oh, do you feel so pretty?
I feel like now I'm the only Campea. I'm no longer the only Campea who didn't get that because Ann gets those requests all the time.
I gotta say, feet people are always the most polite, though, with their kink.
They're very polite.
Dear sir or madam,
yes,
I would just very much enjoy to have a picture of your heels, soles, etc. If that's not your bag, no big deal. They're always so nice, whereas other people are like, show me your tits, and they're very aggressive.
Yeah, I get that one a lot too, by the way. I remember the worst one, though, ever that also made me laugh a lot. I won't mention the name of the cast members, a female cast member we had. Somebody wrote in, I'll just say, I'm going to make up the name, Tina. I'm going to make up the name Tina. Somebody wrote in and said, I want to suck on Tina's farts. So it's like, you had an interesting upbringing, sir.
Wow.
I don't know what led you to this place in your life that you would like to suck on somebody's farts.
I don't want to yuck on anyone's yum, but the logistics are mind-boggling.
Yeah, logistics are just, pretty mind-blowing. Anyway, let's get into this before we get to your questions here. Oh, I was going to say too, normally we have those two ways. Today, we're going to add a third way. See, normally during the John Campea Show, we also take questions, but only from our YouTube channel members. And while our YouTube channel members had already started firing in some topics and questions today, by the way, thank you for being YouTube channel members. So we're also going to today address some of their questions that they sent in that we normally don't do on Open Mic. But before we get to all of that, we're going to talk about this. So Barbie, I think you guys remember the other day we mentioned that Barbie has now passed Super Mario Brothers as the #1 domestic box office film of the year.
Yay.
Not overall worldwide, but domestic box office film of the year, and it's closing in on the worldwide number rather quickly. Well, just in case, because it has lost steam, but just in case there was any doubt that it may actually pass Mario Brothers as the #1 worldwide movie, they've now come out with this. According to reports, Barbie is going to get a 1-week IMAX release starting on September 22nd. And in that IMAX 1-week release, they are going to include additional new footage that has never been seen before. Now, they have not specified if this new footage is going to be outtakes, if it's going to be a post-credit scene, if it's actually going to be some deleted scenes from the movie, a gag reel. They haven't mentioned what it is. They've just used that ever nebulous term footage. new, never before seen footage. All right, let me get this out of the way first. I generally think this is the discharge from Satan's dick when studios put out a movie again into theaters. And why did you go to your shot, Jonathan? Anyway.
That was my gym look at the camera.
Your gym moment.
So glad I didn't have my coffee.
I hate it. And when studios like put something out again and say, oh, now with extra footage. I can tell you this pretty assuredly. I have never gone back to the theater, even movies that I've loved. I've never gone back to the theater to ever pay for a movie again just so I could see 30 extra seconds of something, this or that. I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. I don't like it. I don't know why people do it. Now, if you were going to go back to see a movie again anyway, and they just so happen to be throwing in a little bit of additional footage now, oh yeah, more power to you. That's great. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And listen, with Barbie still making $21 million on its 5th weekend, there are clearly still people wanting to go see the movie, right? So that's cool. And hey, listen, on IMAX, a format that it hasn't been on yet. So there's that. And if you want to sprinkle in a little bit more incentive for those people who are probably going to go back to watch it for its 4th or 5th or 6th time, saying a little bit of extra footage. I'm just saying, for me, that is never an appealing thing. That's never something that moves the needle for me about whether or not I want to go see it again. Now, look, if they throw in 20 extra minutes of the movie that profoundly even changes the way we view the film, I might be talked into going to see it. But you know what? Ray brought up an interesting thing off air. We were talking about yeah, you did. Talking about, is this comparable? Because you guys have heard me talk about one of the things that have really turned me off video games is the whole DLC content, the whole annual battle pass or monthly battle pass, or microtransactions and all this kind of stuff. And Ray brought up, it's like, isn't this kind of like video games doing like DLC and microtransactions, saying, oh, you didn't get the full movie yet. Now you got to come buy your ticket again so you can see the full movie. But, and I think there have been cases where that's happened, but in this, I don't feel like that's what's going on here. I feel like this is just, like, here's something that there was no purpose for us putting in the movie before, but now it's bonus extra footage. Here, you can come see it. I know, Chris, you are a fan of this Barbie movie.
I am.
Let me ask you this. Take the IMAX part of it aside. We'll address the IMAX part in a second. Is the notion of, a month from now, them putting it out again with some quote unquote never before seen footage, is that at all enticing to you to maybe want to go back to the theater and watch it again for that?
For me, not really. It would be more of if it was a whodunit film and there were missing scenes or an alternate ending or something like that. I need to have a bit more specific information here. Now, this is a movie that has tons of rewatchability, and because I have a Regal pass, I do go to movies way more often on repeat than I used to, just because I can. It's incredibly cost effective for me to do. What a cheap date for me to go do for it myself. But if it's just, there's a couple extra moments with Will Ferrell, who I love in this movie, but if it's just him doing some riffs on Get in the Box, I don't need to go back to the theater to go do that. That being said, my husband still hasn't gone to see Barbie because I went with my friends twice, and he didn't. He was teaching each of those nights. So I would probably go take him to see it on IMAX, because seeing I'm Just Ken on an IMAX screen sounds pretty delightful to me. I think that'd be really fun. But as far as getting me to want to go see it again, IMAX really doesn't move the needle for me. Additional scenes don't really move the needle for me. It's just, I really like this movie, so anytime somebody says they haven't seen it and they want to go again, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'll go with you.
To me, it was like, I was already thinking about seeing it a second time. I actually want to see Oppenheimer a second time in digital IMAX while it's still there on the big screen. Right. So it's like, for me, I don't care about the extra footage, whatever, but now it's just, I get to, if I do see it again, like you said, I'm going to see it in a large format.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have any desire to go back to see Barbie again? Like, you saw it the first...
But if let's say they said Mutant Mayhem with extra footage, I'm there like opening night. Like,
of course you are.
So no. I'm just kind of correlating that to the people who do love this movie. They're gonna go see it with extra. It's enough for them to offer extra footage. It'll be enough for them to get back into the seats again. You know what I mean? For any fan of this movie,
I can get that. I get that, but I guess it's so You know, this goes, I suppose it's connected to the discussion that we have around here sometimes that, you know, every once in a while they'll put out a director's cut. And I always say, for me, whatever movie got put out into the theater, that's the definitive version of that movie, right? So it often comes up with the Lord of the Rings discussions too. It's like, is the 4-hour director's cut of those movies the definitive version, or is the theatrical? I gotta say, listen, I love the long 4-hour cuts, but the movie I went to go see in theaters, that for me is the thing. And I guess even though Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is like my favorite movie of the year, I even think if they put it out in theaters again and said now with 10 extra minutes, I probably wouldn't go watch it again.
I think it helps because Mutant Mayhem is like an hour 30 minutes.
That's short.
Yeah. But Lord of the Rings.
Let's look at the counter move here. Do you think Mario has some B-roll footage it couldn't use?
I mean that's already on streaming though.
I mean, look at this. I think the only reason why I was like, was because the turnaround time from the Barbie releasing and then this version releasing. There was like nothing in the middle. Like there was no space in the middle. They just released it. I think it's still in theaters, right?
Well, no, it's still in theaters, but it's not been on an IMAX screen before.
Oh, okay.
So like now it's going to go to IMAX for a week, right? So we'll see. But listen, it will generate some more money. If there was a question about whether or not it would pass Mario Brothers at the worldwide, I think this settles it. I mean, I think that makes it completely.
I'm so mad now that I was like, can we make a baby Hot Toys bet where I bet you like $5? I should have stuck to my guns. I got too scared because I didn't have the money for a hot toy. And now I'm like, I could have a hot toy.
But I'll tell you what, to your point though, if Barbie does cross Mario Brothers and it's not by a lot, I don't think you're wrong. I think Universal puts Mario Brothers in theaters again for a 1 or 2 week run to make an extra $75 million. It's going
to be the whole Avatar Titanic thing.
Exactly. It's exactly what
I honestly wish they, even on a weekday, they just throw Dead Reckoning back in IMAX one more time just so I can go catch it in IMAX.
You think the studio wouldn't want that crown of having the 2023 movie of the year?
Absolutely would.
They want that. They want that plaque on their walls.
With Avatar and Endgame, it's a little different because they're both owned by the same studio, right? It's Disney. So they don't care which one is in first place and which one's in second. They win either way. But this is a situation of Warner Brothers and Universal. And yes, look, if Barbie passes Mario by like $200 million, which it won't, but if it did a turned Ezra or something, that could be kind of neat. I'll go over 20, but under 35. All right, what's next?
We might be buffering still right now, too. They're having some internet.
Yeah, I was, but we're good now.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry. Dildar, what video game have you guys played that had you realize they are art and can be on par with movies and TV? It was Mass Effect for me.
None. Never happened. Still hasn't happened. Probably never will.
I agree. I mean, yeah.
Look, games are made to be games. They're made to be played. They can be made like to astronomical, incredible experiential levels, but they're different from movies. They're not the same thing. And that's why out of the 50 attempts that studios, game companies, and Hollywood have tried to make really good video game content into movies, they're like 2 for 50. Like there's Last of Us. What's another really good one?
But I mean, like where that takes the place of film, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a different thing.
He's saying where you were playing a game and you viewed it as like some art, like lots of
things are art, but there's different types of art, right?
Yeah.
Like the video game making is in itself an absolute art, but it's a totally different thing.
I mean, Final Fantasy as a kid, though, also was just like, this is incredible storytelling.
Well, particularly Final Fantasy 7.
7, where I was just sobbing over video game characters.
Should be a movie.
They are making that into.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, you can adapt.
You can adapt.
I'm just saying, like where it supersedes film.
Oh.
It's like I don't look at sculpture and say, you know what? Oh, okay. No more paintings for me. I'm only going to look at sculpture.
Only want a 3-dimensional situation.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
From Clarence, who do you think gets on track first, Marvel or DC? Let's say a string of 3 solid performers.
Here's the thing. The definition of track is a sliding curve, because for Marvel to be off track is that not every single movie they're putting out is great. DC being off track is everything they're putting out is failing. Marvel just had Guardians of the Galaxy 3 made over $800 million at the box office. Say what you will and say what I will about Secret Invasion, a shit ton of people watched it. It was like, remember when we went over the streaming Nielsen numbers? It was right up there. The amount of streaming time for Secret Invasion was like on par with only 3 episodes, and hours of streams were up there with other things that had like 20 episodes out. So it's a different thing. I do think that we are going to see the MCU truly get back on its track pretty soon, because now Bob Iger is back. He has reinstated Kevin Feige, all the authority that Bob Chapek had taken away from Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige is once again truly calling the shots at Marvel. It's going to take a little while for us to see the changes, but I think that with Iger mandating that they cut back on the amount of content that they're putting out, I think we're definitely going to see them get back on track. And I think we'll see them get back on track, back onto a truly Marvel track before 2025, which is when DC will get back on track, hopefully, with James Gunn's Superman Legacy and the brand new DCU. All right, what's next?
From Alan, I can't be a crew, so I saw Frozen the musical over the weekend. Not as good as Lion King, but still really fun. Are there any musicals that you want to go see live? So many.
I think everything I've wanted to see live, I've seen live. I didn't see Frozen the musical. I don't have a lot of interest in that, but I did see Lion King the musical was fabulous. I loved that. Beauty and the Beast the musical was beautiful and wonderful. Hamilton spectacular. My all-time favorite is still Les Mis. I saw 5 or 6. I saw 6. I've seen a lot. Waitress is fantastic.
Oh, I want to see Waitress.
But I don't think there's one out there that I really want to see that I haven't had a chance to see yet. Have you?
I really want to see Beetlejuice, and I was supposed to when it was still on Broadway.
I didn't know Beetlejuice had a musical.
Yeah, it started gaining traction again because it closed on Broadway, and then TikTok kind of found it, and so now the national tour has been blowing up. But I was supposed to see it in New York with my mom, and I got the worst food poisoning of my life. The people working in that hotel thought I was dying.
Oh no.
So I haven't seen it, and I really want to.
All right, what's next?
All right.
From Sam Fisher. Remember how last week or so we talked about streamers not wanting to touch live news? Well, Warner Brothers Discovery just announced you can get access to CNN on HBO Max as one of its channels.
Yeah, so that's a pretty interesting thing. It's a different approach, because really what they're doing is they're just taking CNN and kind of putting it on there. It's still going to be a challenge moving forward, though, because I do not think en masse anybody is really interested in paying a subscription fee to a news channel. Now, you'll get your extreme left-wing people who will subscribe to their extreme left-wing quote-unquote news stuff. You'll get your extreme right-wing people who will pay money to get into their particular echo chamber of just their extreme right-wing news. I mean, that'll happen. But as far as a mass thing, I don't think generally people are going to want to subscribe to that. Now, if they're just going to take CNN content and make it a part of your HBO Max subscription and kind of just foot the bill on it. But even then, at some point, they're going to say, this needs to be profitable, and that's going to be problematic. It's going to be really interesting to see how that turns out. All right, what's next?
From Kayak, who would you call the best actor and actress among those who are primarily singers?
Singers, huh?
Who are primarily singers. Well, obviously, Jennifer Lopez has turned out pretty good. Yeah. She wasn't always great, but she's gotten better and better as her career went on.
Jennifer Hudson is really amazing.
Yeah, well, Jennifer Hudson's got an Academy Award.
Yeah.
So
she's wonderful.
So there's that. I mean, Will Smith, but I mean, Will Smith is no longer primarily a vocalist, right? I mean, yes, he started off as a singer. He's got an Oscar now.
Justin Timberlake's pretty good.
No, he's not.
He can be. He's great when he's doing comedy, I think.
Have you seen The Love Guru?
I have not seen The Love Guru,
Oh,
actually.
you are blessed.
Okay.
Wait, you are blessed.
Timberlake's in The Love Guru?
Yeah, he plays French-Canadian goaltender. And he's you know where Justin Timberlake shines?
The Social Network?
Saturday Night Live.
He's really great on Saturday Night.
When he's on Saturday Night Live and it's like just Justin Timberlake as Justin Timberlake, like goofing around and really going into it. All of his stuff with Lonely Island.
Yeah. He does great at that.
He's fabulous at that. I listen, then people will often bring up to me, well, you know, what about Social Network? I don't think Justin Timberlake was all that great in Social Network, to be honest with you.
Compared to everyone else in it. I think he does a great job in it, but you've got, you know, Garfield crushing it.
Yeah, who crushed it.
Yeah. Hi, bud.
And my wife loves Justin. You know what? One of my favorite interviews that I've done, I got to sit down with Justin Timberlake when, what was the name of the movie? With Cameron Diaz, Bad Teacher. So I got to sit down with him, and he was a good sport because I kind of went in like a smart ass, and I said, just let me start with this. You know, in the movie, you do a little bit of singing in the movie. Do you think this could ever open it up for you, or maybe you could have a legitimate music career? And instead of giggling or being snarky, he just went with it, right? He just smoothly, effortlessly went, because, well, you know, the hope is always there that the right record agent executive is watching the movie and maybe I get a shot. Well, he was very, very cool. But despite the fact that I think he's really great, I don't think he's that good.
What about Mandy Moore?
Well, Mandy Moore is
wonderful.
Yeah, she's turned into a high level actress.
Or
yeah,
Ice Cube, baby.
Superfly.
He plays himself the whole time.
So good.
Whitney
I
Houston.
love Ice Cube.
Gaga, you like? She's hit or miss for me.
Who's that?
Gaga. You like the Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
Well,
Gaga.
I mean, listen, I remember I had to start changing my tune about Lady Gaga, because I was like everybody else in the sense that I was like, oh, you know, she's really not all that. She just, whatever. She's got a couple of pop songs she sings that are pretty good and everything, but she's not really all that great. And then I remember where I started changing my mind. It was at an Oscars where somebody came out and said, and now to sing the iconic Sound of Music, here's Lady Gaga. And I remember I turned to Ann and I said, this is going to be a disaster. Now this pop star is going to get exposed, because this takes a legit vocalist. This takes an omega level, mutant level vocalist to sing this, and to sing it strong, to sing it well. And she fucking crushed that song. And I was like, I am never going to doubt Lady Gaga again. And then she was going to be in A Star Is Born. I'm like, really? Now, I'd heard she had actually had a lot of training as an actress when she was younger and all that kind of stuff. I thought, and then, well, she got nominated for an Academy Award for it. She was fantastic. I know you have your different feelings, but I thought she was great in House of Gucci.
I hate House of Gucci so much. Everyone's in a different movie.
House of the Gucci.
House of a Gucci. And I'm really looking forward to seeing her as in Joker 2.
What do you think of Mark Wahlberg?
Again, Academy
started off
Award
as a singer, right?
Academy Award nominee, Marky Mark and his Funky Bunch. He's an Academy Award nominated actor.
Yeah.
He's hit and miss. He's done a couple of really great performances, and he's had some rough things. So, yeah, you know, it is what it is. Okay. All right, what's next?
Great question. From Joel, it seems to me that on paper, Rebel Moon is the perfect film for Netflix to continue experimenting with theatrical release. I know it's not their typical model or strategy, but it still seems odd to me that they wouldn't. I definitely think it could make some money.
How much did
budget
Army of the Dead make? Now, Army of the Dead was one that they did a little bit of an experiment with a little bit of a theatrical release.
It says 1 million in Google.
It's not on Box Office Mojo, so
Google seems to have a definitive
Google's
answer.
like 1 million.
1 million.
I'm not sure that it would actually make any money in the box office. I'm not sure. It certainly needs better trailers than the first one they put out. Like, I think this movie's going to be pretty good, but I just think that whatever marketing company put the trailer together didn't do the movie justice. But you know what? You may not be far off there. Like, with Netflix having dabbled in experimenting a bit with theatrical release, I mean, they obviously had a lot of success with Glass Onion doing that. Maybe this is one they could do. I don't know, Chris, do you think that's one they should fire at?
I keep seeing people posting about how much they want to see this movie on a big screen, or these movies, I should say, since it's a twofer.
Yeah, there's going to be two of them.
I agree. $166 million budget, man.
Yeah, $166 million
That's a
budget.
lot of money.
Make some of that money back. It's not gonna make
by
it
the way,
back on Netflix.
I just wanted to show this picture. Ray brought up, well, Ray asked me, what do you think about Ice Cube? This was one of my favorite days ever on my job. I got to spend the whole afternoon with Ice Cube
with Superfly
at this place. Yeah, Superfly at this hidden location in Hollywood. I got to spend the whole afternoon with the dude. He was absolutely fantastic. I loved him. Anyway, okay, let's keep going here.
Oh, by the way, Sylvester the Slayer just gifted a membership to, I think, King Daddy Goat.
Oh, hey, thank you for that, man. That's really generous of you, dude.
Mm-hmm. From CJ Rebirth. Hi, Chris. Hi, CJ. I'm wondering if you're aware of the comedian Gabriel Iglesias, aka Fluffy. Reason I ask is because he's also done voice acting in small roles for like Coco, Ferdinand, Book of Life. But in his shows, he does great voices of other people and sound effects. I am very aware of him. He's hilarious. And yeah, he does a lot of voice work and some really goofy little voices.
He had like a little cartoon too, right? Like a little animated show.
He might have.
I
know he had a sitcom.
We actually had him in studio one time. He came down and to the studio. He was promoting
for the Fluffy movie.
Yeah, he was promoting the Fluffy movie.
I remember
he came down. We had him in studio for the afternoon, and he was absolutely delightful. He was
that's
wonderful.
Good. He seems fun.
All right, what's next?
All right.
From Dare Alice.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can get a lightsaber through you and heal in a matter of days now. That took me out in Ahsoka.
Yeah, because there are many other times that people have been driven through with a lightsaber in their midsection, and that spelled their death. Whether it was Han Solo or whether it was Qui-Gon Jinn.
I think Han died from the fall.
Yeah, he might have been dead before he hit the ground. Maybe not. Still, a very confusing lack of security handrails on that bridge. But one of our friends. He was an official writer for the official Star Wars comic books. He created the characters Tag and Bink that are in the Solo movie. He made the all-time greatest fan film ever made, Troops. Our friend Kevin Rubio, and a big Star Wars fan. They did that, and he dismissed the show. He said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm not watching any more Ahsoka." Like you have a character that you do this thing that kills everybody else, but she survives. Nah, I'm out. It's like. Yeah, it really upset some people. I mean, to me, the bigger problem with it was right at the beginning when, like, the bad Jedi are showing up. It's like, hey, they're transmitting codes. What's the codes? It's an old Jedi code. Let's see. The Jedi don't exist anymore. Even if there are a couple scragglers, there's certainly no Jedi Order, and we don't have any more codes for these. I think they're bad guys. Let's let them land anyway. I mean, that almost like that show nearly lost me right at the beginning. It's like, why would anybody just go, okay, you know what? We're carrying this high value enemy prisoner. Yeah. And we're on high security alert. I think I'm going to let this unknown ship just land. Oh, you know what? When I go down to meet him, I'm going to bring 6 guards. Yeah, I could bring 60. I'm going to bring 6. I just remember thinking, what the fuck is this?
Whoever assigned that captain to transport that prisoner needs
nepotism. He didn't deserve the promotion.
Need some more background checks.
He wants people to first notice the audacity and then notice that there's no one there to help him.
Oh my God. All right. Anyway, what's next?
All right. We can go over to tips now.
Wonderful.
So here we go.
From Anonymous. Hey, John, I've been listening to you since 2012.
Wow.
And you're the main reason I got into comics and movies. Thank you for everything. My question is, in your mind, what's a great film that never really needed a sequel?
First of all, no film ever in history has ever needed a sequel. I mean, it's not a question of need. It's just a question is there potential there for success? So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, The Godfather never needed a sequel. But some people argue The Godfather 2 might be the greatest film ever made in the history of cinema. Star Wars never needed a sequel, but some people will say that Empire Strikes Back is the greatest sci-fi adventure in the history of cinema. So I'm not really sure. I don't know that I have an answer to that because I don't know if I can think of one that needed a sequel at all.
Ice Pirates.
What's that? Ice Pirates. Well, I mean, yes, but that goes without saying. Obviously, Ice Pirates was so good that even trying to do another one would be folly. All right, what's next?
From Dave Bowers, Ahsoka was watchable. But for me, Dawson is playing Ahsoka way too one note for me. It's a lot of her walking around, looking at things, and folding her arms. I know Jedi are meant to be stoic, but come on, man. Give me something to root for.
Didn't people kind of give that kind of complaint to The Witcher too in the first season? He's just like, a lot in The Witcher.
Yeah, all he does is grunt. Yes.
Here's the thing, though. one of my look overall, if I had to put my feet to the fire and say, did you like Ahsoka or did you not like Ahsoka? I'll say I liked it. It like the good outweighs the bad for me, but I was hoping for better. And one of the things for me was that other than Hera and Chopper, I like Sabine Wren was unrecognizable to me as the one from the show. And Ahsoka was also kind of unrecognizable to me as the one from the show. And I love Rosario Dawson playing the role. Love it. But I asked you, the one thing you mentioned about folding her arms, we made a joke. I said, listen, if you made a drinking game out of Ahsoka for every time she does this.
We do that with Loki and hair flips. Every time Tom Hiddleston is like, huh.
Yeah, but I said this too. When we were talking about it, I said this. If they are using that over stoicness at the beginning of the show in order to make it more visible of her character transformation as she goes through the 8 episodes of the show, then I'm going to give that a pass. I'm going to give it. Let's see what the dramatic purpose of it is. If they said, you know what, we really want to highlight the changes in her from episode 1 to episode 8, and this is a good way to do it, then I'll give it a pass. So we'll see if they lean into that a little bit once we get to episode 3. All right, what's next?
Fun fact on drinking games that years ago, me and my friends did it with swingers, and every time Vince Vaughn said money, like, your money, baby, we did a shot, and we cleared a 1.75 of Jack Daniels.
You'll be gone pretty quick.
Your money, baby, yeah.
We tried doing X-Men Origin, or First Class, with anytime they said mutant.
Oh, that'd be quick.
Like, everyone was passed out so quickly.
All right, what's next?
It's bad. Joe Adonis. Hi, John, Chris, just in case. I am here. And Ray. Guys. Abominable is on Peacock TV.
Oh, there you go.
Also,
what's on the cock?
Abominable.
Abominable's on the cock. Yeah.
Thank you, Ray.
Also, if you're wondering where you can stream a movie or show, just go to justwatch.com. That's all.
Chris,
great tips.
You weren't here yesterday. I can't remember why, but somebody asked from the audience about, why haven't we never had a Bigfoot movie? And I said, wait, we have. The classic Abominable. And I think Lance Hendricks was in it, I believe. Oh. But it is truly,
like, that's nice for him.
An awful movie about this Bigfoot that would like rip people's faces off and like so gory and all that kind of stuff.
He's like, get off.
That's a good look at him there.
Oh, he's cute. Look at him.
Isn't he adorable?
His name is
Look
Doug.
at that guy.
His name's Doug.
I thought y'all were talking about the animated one with the Yeti.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
No, we were talking about the one. It's like, it's one of those movies that it is so unbelievably bad that it's kind of fun to watch with the right people. So
which one is he saying is on the cock? The animated one or this one?
Right.
Well, he knew we were talking about this one yesterday, so that's probably the one he meant. Yeah, that's another good shot of him.
Whoa.
That's how when he unhinges, that's when he's about to literally bite people's heads off.
Whoa.
He does that to bite their heads off. It's kind of crazy. All right.
Also, there is another Bigfoot movie, 2019's The Missing Link. It's an animated film with Hugh Jackman.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about that one.
Right.
All right, what's next?
All right.
From McDavid Deserves Better. All right. Congrats on Austin signing a 4-year deal.
That's right.
Some guffaw at the $13.25 million salary, but he's by far the best player to ever don the maple leaf.
No, he is not. He's not even close.
Whoa.
He's great.
So we're talking hockey.
You can't disparage your best player. Say that after his
Here's to another
over.
60-goal season, hoping for an Oilers and Leafs Cup final, so at least one of us can experience joy. Are the Oilers from, is that one of my teams?
Edmonton.
That's from Edmonton.
That's
okay,
the team Wayne Gretzky. Yeah. That's the team Wayne Gretzky played on.
Oh.
The Edmonton Oilers. He also
I know who that is.
No. Yeah, Austin Matthews, probably the greatest American-born, at least today. He's the best American-born player in the NHL today.
Oh,
he's tremendous. He's a terrific talent. I love the deal. I love that we have locked him up. He is not the best Leaf to ever play. Not close, not yet. Give him a few more years from that. But yes, very, very exciting that he's...
How many years did he sign up for?
I believe it was a 5-year deal. Okay. I think it was a 5-year deal. I got to go back and double check. Yeah, we got him for a good number of seasons, though. Going to finally get that cup. All right, what's next?
From Luke1234. If you want to cancel AMC A-List, it won't allow you to sign back up for 6 months. Do you think streaming services should implement similar protocols to prevent hopscotching streaming services, or is AMC being foolish?
For AMC, that's foolish. But for a streaming service, maybe.
No, don't do it. I'm hopscotching.
I think it's, for AMC, it's probably not a bad idea. Because, like, for instance, if I thought I'm going to be out of town for 2 months, I'm going to go up to Canada for, a month, right? It's like, well, I know I'm going to want my AMC A-List when I come back, so I can't cancel it, right? With streaming services, they know they can't do that. But we said this on the show the other day, and I really do think this is coming. I think we are rapidly approaching a time when, you want Paramount Plus? You want Disney Plus? You want Max? You want Netflix? Yeah, you got to sign a 1-year contract. It's coming. It's because churn is becoming more and more of a thing that more and more streaming users are doing. That's like, okay, my show's done. I'm going to cancel this service. Now I'm going to go sign up for this one. Then I'm going to cancel that one and go over to this one. And that's fine for us, but the studios hate it. So at some point, they're going to be, I'm telling you, I believe it's coming quickly, that there's going to be okay, you can sign up for Max, but it's a 1-year contract to try to reduce and combat churn. So yeah, for AMC, probably a good idea. It won't work though for the streamers, and I don't know how we as consumers are going to react to that when it does come. All right, what's next?
We're done with tips. Do you want to take a break?
Okay, yeah, we'll take a second here, guys, and thank the 2 sponsors of today's episode of Open Mic, our friends at Rocket Money and my mobile service provider, and they should be yours, Mint Mobile. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Rocket Money. Did you know that the average person has around 12 paid subscriptions, and they might not even remember to subscribing to half of those? If you have no idea just how much you're spending each month, you need Rocket Money. It's this great app that tracks all of your expenses so you know exactly where your money is going. I recently just found out that over 80% of people have subscriptions that they've completely forgotten about. Seriously, think about how many free trials you subscribe to that you just probably never canceled. And that's why I'm such a big fan of Rocket Money, because I was one of those people. When I signed up to Rocket Money, I was stunned to find out that a gym I had belonged to in another city I lived in, I had still been paying my dues to for over 2 years. Also, that music subscription service I use, I forgot I was subscribed to 2 other ones. That's where Rocket Money comes in, because Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. With over 3 million users and counting, Rocket Money customers have saved on average of $720 a year. So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Campea. That's rocketmoney.com/Campea. rocketmoney.com/Campea. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. Signing your life away to a big wireless provider is kind of like being trapped on a roller coaster from hell. Sure, it looks like fun at first. They probably even threw in a free phone, but now you can't get off. Month after month of insane bills and unexpected thrills, like overages and surprise fees. If that sounds like your current big wireless plan, it's time to get off the ride with Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are just $15 a month. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for just $15 a month. You guys know before I came to Mint Mobile, I was paying triple what I am paying now on the standard big wireless plan, and I will never go back. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped right to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. And thank you to our friends at Rocket Money, Mint Mobile, and Fluffly Chlamydia.
How dare you?
For being sponsors of today's episode.
This is supposed to be
one of us has
a work environment.
Show podcast. You guys will never know the conversations that happen in this room while the ads are playing, and you think you do, but you don't. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
with that down, let's keep on going. Let's go over to our super chat questions here, shall we? What we got up here first?
To say that we have a different topic. From Bubba Jackson. I recently read that the director for Blue Beetle said his dream casting for a sequel would be Jason Sudeikis as Ted Kord. Too bad we'll never see it because I can totally picture it.
You know, Jason Sudeikis as Ted Kord would be
fun
awesome.
casting.
That would be a really, and you know what? It's a great fit. Jason Sudeikis in that style of movie, in that kind of movie, would actually be a really, really good fit. I would love it. But yeah, I don't see us having a
sequel.
No, we are not going to have a sequel to Blue Beetle. Like, even if James Gunn uses Jaime in the new DCU, we're not getting a Blue Beetle 2. Like, when this thing ends up making less than $150 million at the worldwide box office, they'll never be able to justify making a sequel, unfortunately. But it doesn't mean you can't still use the character. All right, what's next?
From Emma Murdoch. What's your go-to show or movie when you're sick? I just tested positive for COVID.
Oh, no, it sucks.
Also, do y'all prefer rewatching stuff when sick or trying something you haven't seen yet? Oh, first of all, Emma, I hope you feel better. COVID sucks.
Yeah. For me, when I'm sick or laid up, it's comfort stuff I'm looking for. That means stuff I've already watched and that I know that I love and that I know that I like. So for me, my go-tos are things like Dodgeball, Galaxy Quest, Zoolander, Lord of the Rings. Like, it's just the stuff I'm really comfortable with. And then reruns of The Office or Parks and Rec. So like when I'm sick, it's that stuff. When something like the pandemic was going on and like we're all just in lockdown, that's when I take advantage of watching a bunch of new stuff or stuff I haven't watched before. So yeah, what about you, Chris?
I mix it up. And it depends too. If it is a very, I feel miserable and need my mom kind of sick, that is, I go back to old Disney movies I grew up with. I rewatch all of the 2018 DuckTales. I'll watch Decoy Bride, which is a charming.
I'm sorry. What?
Decoy Bride?
Decoy Bride?
Yes.
She wears a trench coat. You never know.
She's a trench coat and she's out to get Ray.
You never see her coming.
It's this really cute, goofy rom-com with David Tennant, and he plays an author who's marrying Eve. What's the gal's name from Star Trek who was like in her bra for no reason?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
He's marrying this famous actress, and the paparazzi keep hounding them, and she can't deal with that. So she like runs away from her wedding, trying to hide from the paparazzi, and they bring in a decoy bride.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
I've never even heard of this.
It's so cute.
And it's
so adorable.
Love, right?
Oh, and she's from Trainspotting.
Yes.
She was very young.
Yeah. I love her too. The voice of Merida, I can't remember her name. She's wonderful. Kelly McDonald? Is that it? She's great.
All right. What's next?
From JCSC. Ray, what do you think of the 2003 TMNT series?
I've never saw it. I'm sorry.
What?
I never saw the 2003 series. Is that the one where he has they actually started giving Raph the bandana? I don't know. I only did the 1980s and then just the newer movies and the 2007 animated movie. That middle part between the 90s cartoon and the 2007 animated film, that's all blank to me. There was no TMNT for me.
This was the one where they had like the white-eyed domino masks. Everyone kind of looks very like Daredevil edgy kind of stuff.
No,
the way they were originally designed.
It looks cool.
If it's on Paramount,
The
I'll
way
actually
they were
check it
originally
out.
designed in a parody.
No, it looks like more serious.
I actually started
look more
doing my
serious.
TMNT stuff on Paramount 2 nights ago. I just started watching all the series that I didn't catch. So maybe I'll run into that one.
What's next?
From Harv's K. The only time I paid money to see a movie again in theaters for the additional footage was when they tacked on the Two Towers trailer at the end of Fellowship of the Ring during the last leg of its run. I mean, that's a great reason.
Yeah.
They did what?
They put the trailer to the next movie on at the end of it.
At the end of the one movie, at the end. Like, that reminds me, there's...
What a move.
The biggest, I think the biggest event, that reminds me, the biggest thing that's ever happened in, like, trailer history. And you guys know, by the way, go check out Movie Trailers, A Love Story.
Masterfully edited.
Let me see. Movie Trailers, A Love Story. Go check out Movie Trailers, A Love Story, which... Nope, this isn't the right thing to
The
look
love
at.
story, yeah.
I'm sure I'm going to find it here.
Oh,
in a
you
second.
just had it. You just had it right there.
No, here now I have it. Okay, give me a sec. There it is. Movie Trailers: A Love Story. It is available on Amazon. Go check it out. It's, dare I say, I think it's fair to say it's the single greatest documentary ever made.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say it is the single greatest documentary ever made
at the Oscars.
Yeah, completely snubbed at the Oscars.
Oh my God!
Should have 100% won Academy Awards.
He lost
but
all credibility.
During the documentary, one of the things that we talk about in the documentary is the fact that the single most important movie, maybe the most pivotal moment in the history of trailers, and the only time this has ever really happened, was when Star Wars: A Phantom Menace was about to come out. Right? Nobody ever thought that after Return of the Jedi there'd be ever any more Star Wars movies. And people literally bought movie tickets to go to see Meet Joe Black.
I ironically bought a movie ticket to see the movie.
Really? You were rare.
Yeah.
But people bought movie tickets to meet Joe Black. And we just found all these people telling these stories about how them and their buddies just bought like 6 sets of tickets to meet Joe Black just so they could go to the theater, see the trailer for Star Wars. Because remember, at the time, YouTube wasn't a thing. You couldn't really watch trailers online and stuff like that. I mean, you could, but it took you about 7 hours to download a trailer because you were using the 56K
AOL.
baud modem. And people were going in droves all through the weekends, and the movie theaters reporting sold out screenings for these movies, but 3/4 empty when the movies would start because people would flood in, see the trailer, leave, buy tickets to the next showing, go in and watch the trailer.
Never met Joe Black. Then.
It's one of the craziest things ever. One of the craziest things ever.
That was bad.
All right, what's next?
From Emma Murdoch again. Also, are there any films that came out during COVID that should be re-released in theaters? Is it worth doing? Ugh. I mean, I have a hard opinion here.
It's too late now.
Yeah.
It's like you had Warner Brothers with their idiot move of putting the movies in theaters and on HBO Max at the same time. Obviously, Tom Cruise showed what the strategy should have been. Hold on to your movie, like Top Gun Maverick. Wait for the pandemic to be done. Do a full marketing campaign, then release your film.
You know what I really enjoyed, though? When we watched Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Kong, and then we had that little get-together, 2 days, on the weekend, and we were able to watch it again at home.
Yep.
I liked that, but I know it didn't do the movie well.
Yeah, it hurt the movie.
Yeah,
but the problem is if you re-released it in theaters now, everybody's seen it, right?
Yeah.
So Turning Red, the animated movie that should have won the Academy Award for Best Animated Film, it should have been released in theaters, but it's too late now. So that's the unfortunate part about that.
I would have loved to see Palm Springs.
Oh, yeah.
Because that movie was great and so underrated and so wonderful. And then Eurovision, I would have loved to see.
I don't know how Eurovision would have done in theaters.
But I love that movie so much.
That's a delightful little movie.
I love that movie.
What the heck is that about?
It's Will Ferrell, Rachel
Saga.
McAdams.
Oh, okay.
It's so good.
And I cry. I don't care. I almost cry at the end of that when she sings the big final song.
I cry every time I watch it.
I nearly cried. By the way, I'm embarrassed to say I've mentioned this, but it's evolved. So I don't cry at anything. I'll get a little choked up sometimes or whatever, but I've cried in 4 movies in my life, whatever. And it's not sad stuff that makes me cry. It's usually extreme, overt exhibitions of friendship or loyalty or stuff like that, right? I don't know how this got started, but in my YouTube feed, because YouTube's on my TV more than anything else. On my YouTube feed, some weird, America's Got Talent video popped up about the most insane whatever. And I watched it. I was like, oh, that was cool. But then a bunch more popped up in my feed, right?
It's called a rabbit hole.
And we'll go down the rabbit hole. So here's what happened. I started getting all these The Voice auditions, right? Now, if you guys have never seen The Voice, here's how it works. You got these 4 celebrity singers that are the captains of teams. A singer gets on stage, and it's just all about their voice. It's not about how they look. It's not about how they dance. None of it. It's just about, are they a great vocalist? And they start singing an audition song. And then if the coach likes what they hear, they hit their button and their chair turns around. You want to get a chair turn. And if you get even one judge to turn around, you're on the show, right? So it's a big deal. All that set up to say this. The one I played, this girl comes out on stage. She starts singing. She's doing really well. And I think it was Adam Levine hit his thing, turned around. Then as he turned around, the audience is cheering. The girl keeps singing, but then they do the camera off stage where the girl's mother is standing off stage. And the girl's mother, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Seeing that her daughter just succeeded and somebody turned around, this mother just starts crying.
Aww.
And I started crying like a baby. And so I started watching hundreds of these videos of The Voice where people chair turns and then family off stage. But I found the ones that take to the next level now. Ones where like older contestants come out and they're singing and they get a chair turn and then the camera goes side stage and their children are there and their kids start crying. And I'm like, fuck this. And I just start weeping and like crying.
That's what you did all day yesterday without Ann at the house, huh?
Yeah, with Ann got. No, I played a lot of Baldur's Gate. That's
Hold
what
on, though. There's also another piece to this mystery here, though. Somehow my algorithm gave me this. Who has Campea Plus? Who's going down this rabbit hole of voice videos to
it might have been
begin
Ann.
with?
Might have been Ann.
I'm just saying.
Might have been Ann. I don't know that Ray's watching a lot of The Voice.
One Ray. Aura.
Oh, no.
But listen,
Neighbors say they saw someone walking out with a trench coat.
Watch some of these most emotional The Voice audition. I don't even watch The Voice anymore, but most emotional. If you don't feel your heart grow 6 sizes that day, you're dead inside. You're just dead inside. There's just a cold husk. Nothing but Satan penis discharge where your heart should be.
Oh, yeah? Oh. He's good with the sriracha today.
Sriracha.
All right. That's
what comes out of Satan's dick.
All right.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I got sidetracked. What's
that
next?
Released during COVID.
Thanks, Emma. I hope you're feeling better. And if not, maybe we made you feel worse talking about Satan's penis.
That was a long.
All right. From Andy, greeting from Pittsburgh. Just watched Amistad on your suggestion and loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Criminally underrated. Thanks for the suggestion. And let's go Pens.
I will always be a Pittsburgh Penguins fan because Mario Lemieux is one of my all-time favorite players. Of course, you got a good Nova Scotian kid, born right up the street from where I was born, from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Sidney Crosby. Sid the Kid. Anyway, sidetrack there. Amistad. A lot of times when people bring up, I mentioned Steven Spielberg. I think he's the greatest filmmaker of all time. And then inevitably people ask me, well, what's your favorite Steven Spielberg movie? Is it E.T.? Is it Jaws? I'm like, no, it's Amistad. And a lot of times people will go, what? Like, what's Amistad? Like, a lot of people have never seen Amistad. Djimon Hounsou. It's the movie that really introduced Djimon Hounsou to the world. It's still my favorite Steven Spielberg film. Love it. I'm glad you expanded your horizons a bit and watched that one. I love that movie. Anthony Hopkins is in it. It's just a tremendous film.
Speaking of Canada, someone linked me on my Instagram to like this theater, Lawrence Theaters. Is that only in Canada?
I've never even heard of Lawrence
Theaters or something. Anyways, it was like a contest to win like this Mutant Mayhem pack. And like, so it said, click your local theater. And it was all Canadian. So I just picked Hamilton.
As far as I know, there's like one movie theater chain in Canada, which is Cineplex. Okay. But I've never heard. Maybe they came into existence after I moved out of Canada, unfortunately. All right, what's next?
From Dildar, the Glorious. What are your guys' favorite bands? Mine is Man with a Mission. They have wolf heads.
Man with a Mission? I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, I mean, I have a very diverse taste in music. But my all-time favorite band, which I don't like a lot of other bands that are like them, which is weird, but is U2. U2 is my all-time favorite band. What about you?
Ooh, I don't know all-time favorite. I've been listening to a lot of Mr. Wives lately. They're great. They're fun.
I mean, I guess if I'm just going to say something, I'll just go with The Clash.
Ooh, good pick.
My cover band used to play a lot of Clash. We used to play a lot of The Clash. All right, what's next?
From Aiden Foley, is there still a watermelon in the bag?
What?
Okay, so where that comes from, and then by the way, I've been proven right about this. History has shown that I was right about this the whole time. But there was this long ongoing debate about did the Snyder Cut even exist? Because when people first started asking for release the Snyder Cut, people would say, release the Snyder Cut. What I said and I replayed this video. The very first video I ever made about it was, hey guys, yeah, Zack Snyder's got an edit, but there is no Snyder Cut that can just be taken and released. That doesn't exist. There's an edit of the film, sure, but there is no completed, ready-to-go version of the movie that you can just release the Snyder Cut. It does not exist. And the analogy I would give when people would say, you know, you said that Snyder never put his edit together. I said, no. I said there's no completed, ready-to-be-released version of the film. It's something they'll have to spend millions of dollars on to actually make and then release. And I would say, you guys, I'm telling you, there's no apples in the bag. And then you're saying to me, but John, you said there's no watermelons in the bag. I'm like, no, I said there's no apples in the bag. There is a watermelon in the bag. There's an edit, but there's not a completed, ready-to-go film. And then, of course, the chairman of Warner Brothers definitively proved that I was right when he said, when they announced that they were going to be putting out this Snyder Cut on Warner Brothers, he said, it's not just a movie we can release. The Snyder Cut doesn't exist. We have to spend $70 million so Zach can bring it into existence. And anyway, so that's the whole apples and watermelons analogy thing. That's what he was talking about. All right, what's next?
Confused.
Well, here we go.
Okay,
Well, thank you, Andy, for all of these.
These are all $20 super chats. So, Andy, you are a mensch. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for that support, Andy. Appreciate it very much, man. Oh, wait a minute. It's Andy. Are we about to talk about Riverdale?
We're about to talk about the Riverdale finale.
All right, here we go. Buckle up.
I have to say, I was prepared for this today, and I started reading articles and doing a deep dive on TikTok and everything. I was like, I got to know about Riverdale. All right. On TikTok. I was doing real hard journalism, right?
Is that a reference now?
So, 1 of 6. Hi, Chris. Hi. Riverdale ended last night, so here is my final recap of Riverdale. The finale is kind of like Titanic. It's 2022. Betty is 86 and the last survivor of her friends and is with her adult granddaughter. She wants to relive her youth, so Jughead's ghost time travels her back to her high school senior self.
Oh my God, is this real already?
Yep, in 1956, and the first thing she does is check out Teen Archie changing clothes. After everyone got their memories of the OG dark present timeline restored in 1955 by Tabitha, the time-traveling guardian angel of Riverdale in the previous episode, Archie, Veronica, Betty, and Jughead became more conflicted on who to choose, so Archie and Betty dated, while Jughead and Veronica dated, and went on many double dates. Eventually, that evolved, and they all ended up in a foursome relationship, which old Betty doesn't remember for some reason. Reggie is salty finding out about this, as he would have joined in. A fivesome? That's crazy, Reggie. Personally, I'm wondering if Betty ever watched From the Corner again.
Oh my God.
After that night, the four go their separate ways and live different lives. In the end, old Betty dies and walks into Pop's diner where she is... Oh, golly, where is it? She is... Oh, no, there you go. Reunited with everyone from Riverdale. Kind of like Titanic. Now that it's over, I'm going to miss recapping this stupid show to you, Chris. It was fun. Loved seeing your reaction, but laughed my ass off seeing how John reacted to this show. Andy, it's the end of an era.
Yeah.
Well done, buddy.
Was that series finale or was that season
series
finale?
finale?
Wow.
I
After show, man, you missed out. That was so much money right there.
Every time I hear about what was going on in the show, I'm just like, what happened to that show that was season 1? That was just this great alternate look at the Archie mythos in this sleepy little town, and there's a murder mystery. And it was such a great little show. And how did it turn into...
What were the writers going
through? I know, the writers go on strike on that one?
What were they going
for the past 6 years? Little
jab.
I just don't get it. Like, how did that show that was the season 1 show turn into the superpowered time traveling ghost protector? What
all they did was they ended up just using the brand of Archie, right? And then just created their own.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Anyway, Andy, thank you so much.
Yeah,
that's incredibly generous of you to support us from that level with that. Andy. Thank you for the update. Thank you for your support, man. We appreciate it. All right, what's next?
From King Daddy Goat, Ray. Sell me on watching Invasion if you can.
I don't know that he
we
can.
had that yesterday.
Yeah, no, we did.
And I explained it completely wrong because I watched the episode again last night because I actually fell asleep halfway through.
All right, what's next?
Now I know what's about.
He's a great salesman.
From Danny Sanchez. Hi, John. Hi, Chris. Hola, Jonathan and Ray.
Hello. Oh, thank you, Danny. Appreciate that, man. All right, what's next?
Here we go.
From The Daily Prophet, the Harley Quinn show has an interesting new cover on Max with Harley and Ivy on the rocket. Laugh out loud if you get it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's euphemism.
Oh, it's like it's like a poster, right?
That's nothing new. They've been doing that in Wonder Woman comics since the dawn of time.
Right, but I need to see it to see what they're actually talking about. So I'll have
they're
to.
Just riding a
by
rocket,
the way,
they're just riding a rocket.
This season of Harley Quinn has been
same.
fantastic. The season has been so fun and so funny, and I'm starting to love the Batgirl. Although my one big problem with the season of Harley Quinn, there is a disturbing lack of Bane. They need more Bane. There's been I'm not saying Bane needs to be a main character, but there's been an extremely small amount of Bane in this. And Bane is the greatest side character they have in this show. They does need more Bane, but the show's been great this season. All right, what's next?
All right.
What's your shot?
Just me? Because we're talking about rockets and how we all the same. We all the same when we ride a rocket. From Shamrock Vibes. How did you find London, Chris? Oh, my fave place in Europe is Malta. I get lost with the amount of history there. John Hack said, "Are you for Napoleon?" I really loved London. I had an amazing time. I saw 2 plays. I went to Borough Market, which was super fun because the boys on Sorted always talk about going there, and I had a blast. I really, really enjoyed it.
And Anne called me this morning from London.
Oh, yay!
London.
She's in a hotel
London.
right across the street from Buckingham Palace. There's a ton of hotels right across from Buckingham Palace.
Next time you talk to her, you tell her she doesn't come back.
Large Mark
if
sent
she
you.
doesn't try the fish and chips over there.
No, I had a conversation with her. She goes, "Why would I be, English?" I'm like, "But you got to try fish and chips." She goes, "But we have fish and chips here." I was like, "Yeah,
no,
but you
gotta have it while you're there.
English fish
You
and
gotta
chips."
have fish and chips.
Yes.
You gotta have a Scotch egg.
Yeah,
She better have the proof too.
although she told me
Sausage
something
roll.
she's buying for you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Is it a trench coat?
Oh, I'm not.
Oh yeah,
London
A
trench
good
coat.
London trench
London
coat.
From London Fog. From London Fog. Yeah, they have nice
that'll
trench
be
coats.
fun.
Oh, and as
Nice.
far as Napoleon goes, ever since CinemaCon when they showed us the big presentation on Napoleon, I'm very excited for Napoleon. It's one of my most anticipated films for the rest of the year for sure. Absolutely. All right, what's next?
From Tori, the K-pop girl. This Ahsoka release really confirmed for me that I'm ready for a new era in Star Wars. Brand new characters, brand new story, 1,000 plus years in the future or past.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally,
I mean,
man.
I don't know. Like I'm very, very conflicted on the whole Star Wars thing on Disney Plus. You had Mandalorian season 1 and 2. And Andor, which is the best Star Wars thing ever made since the original trilogy, in my opinion. But you also had Mandalorian season 3, which was pretty weak. Obi-Wan, which wasn't horrible, but ended up being pretty weak. Book of Boba Fett, which was horrible. And now Ahsoka episodes 1 and 2 were okay. I mean, they were okay, but I had really high expectations and really high hopes. So I've been saying for a long time, they need to move beyond the member berries with Star Wars. They need to just get a clean slate, go 50, 100, 200 years in the future. Look what they did with Game of Thrones, right? They literally just jumped back 2 generations. That's all. They didn't go back 1,000 years. They just went back 2 generations, but it felt like the world was wide open. No story was off the table. They could just we could get introduced to new characters and new stories in a very familiar world. And you can do that with Star Wars. Have a very familiar universe with brand new characters, brand new locales, brand new stories. Yeah. Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to all the various Star Wars stuff that we got coming out, but I really do think they are very, very primed right now to either go back to the old Republic or move forward into the future. I don't know. They got to do something. All right. What's next?
From Hawks TV, I love Kristen Wiig on SNL and everywhere, really.
That's
great.
I love Kristen
Oh
Wiig.
yeah,
She's so
she was
funny.
my favorite.
Yeah, she was so good on Saturday Night Live. She was really great in MacGruber. She was obviously wonderful. Like one of the best comedies the past 20 years was Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids is so funny.
That movie, I watched it again recently. I forgot how funny that movie is. Like that movie's just ripping hilarious. I love her. She's a treasure.
What was the skit that she used to do with that other lady, and they used to be like the calmest, like, and they would have pets on, and they'd just be like super relaxed, like super like just super calm.
No idea.
Get it?
Is it the one where they were trying to clear a cat shelter and they did, this is Mittens Mackenzie. She's got a smoker's cough.
That was what's her name from Barbie.
Do not remember that one.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon. Yeah, but then the kittens started getting all over the place, like not acting. They just
I don't even remember that one.
Character. Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From Guzman. Fun fact: tiger urine smells like buttered popcorn.
Oh, nice.
Prove it.
That's something I never have to find out if it's legitimately true or not.
I'll never know.
Nope,
even if you put a pot of tiger
things.
urine in front of me, this is all for show.
I've gone to a lot of zoos. I've never thought I smelt the smell of popcorn butter.
I mean, if you're ever lost in the jungle and you happen to have some popcorn, thanks,
throw it
man.
away.
There you go.
Throw it away. All right, what's next?
From Tori the K-pop girl, one of two. Also, you talking about Abominable. There we go. I was like, we talked about abdomens earlier? Abominable reminded me I may have found the best bad movie ever. Donald Trump versus the Illuminati? It is real and a triumph. It's about a Chinese clone of Trump escaping a barren Earth 40 years in the future to fight the Illuminati in space.
That's not real.
Bigfoot is in the movie.
It could be a B movie.
We're going to Google this.
We're going to watch it actually as a group.
That's something Asylum would
I was going to say, it sounds like
gonna say.
Asylum Pictures.
Chris is actually looking it up as we speak.
We're going in incognito mode, though, so I don't need this in my history.
If this is a legitimate thing. I am totally dubious.
Released in 2020, an hour and 9 minutes. Ray, we're watching it.
A Chinese clone. Okay.
I'm surprised it didn't qualify for the Academy.
Can we get one of those TVs on the cart? So, like in the office, whenever we need to watch something, we all just
pull it out and just start watching it right now. All right, what's
so
next?
exciting.
Oh, you know what? That's it.
Oh, that's it.
What a way to end.
And guys,
that was the ending.
That'll do it for today's installment of Open Mic. Thank you so much for being here and making this little show part of your day. Big special thank you to all of you guys who sent in those questions. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it, and all of us involved with the show. Thank you guys so very much for your support. Don't forget, guys, you can also find Open Mic on our John Campea Show podcast feed. And you guys should really make sure you're subscribed to the John Campea Show podcast feed. That way you can get access to the shows, whether it's the John Campea Show podcast or Open Mic, anytime. Even if you're commuting or at the gym and you just want to get an audio version of it, go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it. I also want to thank the people in the room with me. We got Ray Ora.
Bye.
Jonathan Voico.
See you later.
Chris Carr.
Feel better, Emma.
My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.
Tiger butter.